Hello guys, welcome to another video. This one is paper October-November 2017, paper 1-2. So the reason why I am doing this video is because when I first did these questions, it was in parts, so it was not one big video, and the questions were not verified properly, so there may be some mistakes here and there, and that's the reason why I'm going to redo this paper in one single video and simply explained for each question. Now, with that being said, let's move on to question number 1. So here we have two fractions. We have 6 over 7 minus 3 over 5. So the first thing you realize is that, hey, I have different bases. My denominators are different. So we have to find the LCM. LCM means having the same base. So here, what can I do? I can multiply them by each other. 7 times 5 will be 35. Next step is to cross multiply. 6 times 5 will be 30. Here we have minus 7 times 3, that will be 21. Now 30 minus 21, that will be 9 over 35. And that is your answer for part 1. Now for part 2, evaluate this one. So what can we do here? Because we have decimal at the bottom, we can remove the decimal place. So if you move by 2 place, you have to add 2 zeros. You will get 9,000 over 45. Now we have to simplify. Divide by 9. You will have 5. You will have 1. And you have divide by 5. That should be 200. So your answer will be 200. Now let's move on to question number 2. The masses in kg of 20 parcels sent by dispatch are given in the table. So this one is tally marks. Let's see how many we have for the values. So this is between 3 and 5, 5 and 7, 7 and 9. So first one is 4.2, that should be right here. Go away, 5.3, 5.1, 7.8. This one, 3.2, 5.7, 4.1, 5.9, 8.4, 5.6. This one, 3.2 will be right here. 4.8 should be right here. 6.9. And we have 6.2, 3.2, 5.4, and finally 4.7. So here we have 7. Here we have 5, 8. And here we have 5. So let's add them together. 7 plus 8 is 15, plus 5 will be 20. So 20, 20, check. That is good to go. Now for part B, the results are to be shown in a pie chart. Pie chart is basically like a circle, right? Now, calculate the angle of the sector representing the group with the smallest frequency. So, smallest is this one. So, to find the angle, we take 5 over the total number, which is 20, times 360 for the angle in a circle. That will be 0. Can divide by 1. That will be 18. So what is 5 times 18? So 5 times 8 is 40. That should be 90. So 90 degrees. That is your answer for question number 2. Now let's move on to question number 3. So here we have y is inversely proportional to x. So first let's form our equation. Y is inversely proportional to x, which gives us the equation y is equal to k divided by x. Now next step is we have to use those two values to find the value of k. So k is equal to y times x. So y is 1 over 6, x will be 30. So k will be 5. So our equation is now y is equal to 5 over x. Now using this equation, we have to find the value of y when x equal to 10. So y is what? 5 divided by 10, which is 1 over 2 for your answer, half. Now for question number 4, we have a function f of x equal to x divided by 4. Now part 1, find this one. So we have to replace the value of x by half. So f of half will be half divided by 4, that should be 1 over 8. Now for part B, find f inverse. So inverse is always to let y equal to f of x. So y is equal to x over 4. Next step, we have to make x become your subject of formula. So x will be 4y. So now finally, when you write f inverse, it is in terms of x. So we write down 4x. That is question number 4. Now let's move on to question number 5. The timetable for buses from A to E calling at B, C, and D are given below. Okay, these are the times that we have for the bus to pass at this station given to you. Okay, so part 1. How many minutes does each journey from A to E take? For example, if you take the bus from A at 8:12, you will arrive at 9:20. So let's do the difference to find the time taken. So this minus, that will be 8, 0, and that is 1. So 1 hour is 60 minutes. I have to plus 8, that will be 68 minutes. Now part B, Sharon has an appointment at D at 3:30. So at D at 3:30. Okay. So D is the station. Now, what is the latest time she can catch a bus from B? So now we have to know, how long does it take to come from B to D? Let's check. So B going to D, let's see how long does that take. So 09, 05 minus 08, 33. Okay, let's see. That will be 2. That will be 8, 6. That will be 3. So going from B to D, it takes 32 minutes. Okay, that's something we maybe need to know. Now, for example, as you can see here, we want to find what is the time that she will need to catch a bus from B to reach to D in time. At before this time, so before or at 3:30. So let's go to B. So one thing we can do, we can make it easy for us. Let's list down the times at B. As you can see, B, the first bus come at 8:33. Then we have 9:18. Then that will be. So it's every how long? Let's check. It's every 30. Sorry. It is this one. Every 30 minutes. The bus comes every 30 minutes. That will be, if you can check, that will be 0, 9, 33. That will be 10, 0, 3. If you keep going on, at one point you will have at 2, 0, 3, and then you will have 2, 33, and then you will have 3, 0, 3, and then 3, 33. Right, if that makes sense. Now, since the bus takes 32 minutes to travel from B to D, so that is D. So the bus at D arrives at 9:05. Now if you compare, you can just do this here. So basically it will be one of those, right? If you want to arrive at 3:30 or before 3:30. Now this one is too late, we will not take this one. But if you take this bus, you will arrive at D at what time? After this one, that will be about 3 plus 32, that will be 35. And that will be too late because your appointment is at 3:30, so it will not be this value. But if you take your bus at this time, you will arrive at 3 plus 32, that will be 3:05. So this one is before this time. So, but you will be on time. So the time you will have to take your bus is at this time, 2:33. So you can arrive at 3:05. So if you take the next bus, you will be too late. And if you take the bus before, you will be too early. This one is the last bus you can catch to arrive on time before your appointment. So this is your answer, 2:33. Now let's move on to question number 6. The diagram shows a scale of 3.8 to 3.9. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this difference will be 3.9 minus 3.8, that is 0.1, has been divided by 5 for 5 equal spaces. That will be 0.02. So one place will be what? This will be 3.82, 3.84, 3.86, 3.88. Okay, so what is the value at P? It is 3.84. Now for point B, the point X and Y on the line is such that AX, the ratio, and XY and YB are given by 3, 2, 4. So 3, 2, and 4. That's the ratio given to us. Now we are given that AB is the whole line is 18. So everything is how much? So you add everything. So 3 plus 2 plus 4 is 9. So AB is 9, right? XY is 2. So if 9 is equal to 18, 2 is equal to 18 divided by 9 times 2. That will be 4. That is your question number 6. Let's move on to question number 7. So here we have ABC is parallel to DEFG. So these two lines are parallel. That's the first thing we know. Now, BC is equal to BE, so these two are the same. And ACE is 35, BFG is 102. So part 1 we have to find CBF. So we have to find this angle. So to find this angle, we have to look at the parallel lines. Right, so basically what it means is that if you know this is 102, what is this one? This will be 180 minus 102 because it is a straight line. That will give you 7 here, 10, 8, 7, 8. That is 78. Right, so now if this is 78, because these two lines are parallel, they are joined by this line. This is the alternate angle of this one, so this also will be 78. So your first value, CBF, will be 78. Now next one is to find ABE. A is here, B here. So we have to find this one. So now we have been given that this and this are the same. So if this is 35, this also has to be 35. Okay. So now if you observe, we have triangle CBE. So the three angles had to add up to 180, if that makes sense. So let's find out what is this value. That will be 180 minus this 2, so minus 70. That will be 110 minus this angle. That will be what? So 10, that will be 2, that will be 3. So this is 32. So now what is this angle? This is a straight line, so we have to take 180 minus those two. So 180 minus 78, that should be 710. That will be 102. So 102 minus 32, 70. So this is 70 for angle ABE. So that is one way of doing that, but you should get the same value, 70. That is question number 7. Now question number 8, 30 students, so write this down, 30 students were asked how many days they ate pasta last week. The results are shown in this table below. Find the mode. The mode has the most frequency. It is right here. So the number of days will be 0. Now for part B, find the median. The median is half is the middle value. So you will take 30 plus 1 divided by 2. That is 31 divided by 2. That should be 15.5. Now what is before 15.5 and after? You will say 15 and 16. So it will be your average of your 15 and 16 value. So let's count. So 9 here. If you plus 6, you will have 15. So 15th value will be 1. So that's your first value to take. Now 16th value will be in this section. That will be 2. You have to find the average. 3 divided by 2. That is 1.5. Okay. That will be question number 8. Now let's move on to question number 9. The area of a rectangle is given by 8 centimeter square. Correct to the nearest 1 centimeter. So write down the lower and upper bound. So you can see 8 plus minus, you take this number, half, divide by 2. That will be 8.5 or 7.5. So write down the lower bound, that will be 7.5. Now for part B, the width of the rectangle is given by 2 centimeters, correct to the nearest 1 centimeter. So the width, write down the bounds, you will have 2 plus minus 1 divided by 2. That will be 2.5 or 1.5. Now question is, calculate the lower bound for the length of the triangle. So when you have the area is equal to length times width. So length is equal to area divided by width. Now to find the lower bound of the length, we have to take the minimum area divided by the maximum width to find the minimum lower bound of length. So minimum area was 7.5, max width was 2.5. So simplify, that should give you what? So if you want to remove the decimal place, 75 over 25, divide by 25, that is 1, and that is 3. So your answer is 3 for your lower bound of your length. Now for question number 10, by making suitable approximations, find an estimate for this fraction. Show clearly the approximations you use and give your answers correct to 1SF. So since we have a square root here, we have to look at this number to make approximations. So what is the value that you know we need to have here to make it become exact? So basically, we need to change this to root of 36. So we have to write down correct to 2SF. So here we have 40, 32. 2SF will be 40. And we have 29, 80. And 2SF will be 30. Okay, so now replace, you will have 40 times root of 36 divided by 3000. That will be 40 times 6 over 3000. So 0, 0 cancel out. 6, that will be 5. Right? 50, not that will be 4 divided by 50. Now that could be your answer, but you have to give your answer to 1SF. So let's simplify. We can times 2 here and times 2 here to become 8 over 100. That will be 0.08. Correct to 1SF. Now let's move on to question number 11. The mean age of Ali, Ben, and Chris is 14 years and 3 months. Dai's age is 15 years and 3 months. Calculate the mean age of the 4 people. So first, as you guys know, mean is equal to the sum and divide by the number of people. So at first, let's find the sum of the 3 people. That will be 14 years and 3 months. That was for 3 people times 3. You will have 9 months. And how many years? That will be 4 times 3 is 2. Sorry, 4 is 12, not 2. And that will be 43. So now you have to add this to the new guy. So now new sum. So new sum will be 42 years and a 9 month. Add 15 years and 3 months. That should give you months. That should be 12. So 0. 1 goes here. So 42, 40, 43 basically. So here we have 3 plus 5 is 8. And that will be 58 years. Now divide by the number of people. That will give you 1, 2, 5. No, 4 people now. So let's do that. You will have divide by 2. You will have how much? So divide by 2, that will be 2, that will be 2, 1, and that will be 9. So you have 29 years divided by 2, 1, that should give you 1, and 4, that will be 1 remaining, that will be 5. So 14.5 years. So 14 years is pretty easy. Write down 14.5 years. So 0.5 years is times 12 months. That should be 6 months. So 14 years and 6 months for the new average of the 4 people. Now question number 12, we have a power x equal to 5. Find a power 2x. So to solve this, we can just have to rewrite this down. A power 2x is equal to a power x power 2. That will be 5 power 2, that is 25. Now for this one, we can write this down as 1 over a power x. That will be 1 over 5 as your answer. That is question number 12. Let's move on to question number 13. So the distributions of length of time spent in the internet on Monday by each member of a group is shown on the table below. So here we have the histogram represents some of this information. So first we have to find the value of k. So since you have a histogram, we have to use this thing to find the value of k. So how do you find frequency density? The formula is frequency divided by your class width. So let's first find the class width. That will be 20, that will be 10, that will be 10, and that will be 30. Now FD is given to you by k over 20. That will be 5, that will be 3, and that will be 1. Now we have to find the value of k. K is a class of 10 to 30. So 10 to 30, FD was 2. So we just solve, because here we see FD is k over 20. So basically we know k over 20 is supposed to give you 2 according to your graph. So k can be 40. Well, this one is a really easy question. I'm sure you guys know how to find this and do this, right? Okay. Now part B, complete the histogram. So we have until here we have to find those two. So 40 to 50 is 3. 3 will be. Of course, you have to use a ruler for those lines. Okay, don't do like me. Here is 1. So 50 to 80, that is 1. Okay, that will be your histogram for question 13. Now let's move on to question 14. Find the two solutions of this equation, which are negative integers. So we only want to find negative integers. So first thing, we have to make x become your subject of formula. So one thing we can do is we can simplify one by one. So first thing, let's multiply everywhere by 3. You will have x minus 3 over 9x over 4. Then multiply everywhere by 4. You will have 4x minus 12 less than 9x. Now let's send this one over here. You will have minus 12 less than 9x minus 4x. That will be minus 12 less than, that is what value? 5x, right? Now if you were to rewrite this down again, we have to divide by 5, because we want to eliminate the 5 here. You will get minus 12 over 5. That should be x. So x will be more than minus 12 over 5 if you rearrange, right? Put this here, change the position. Now what is this one? We can do something here. We can multiply this by 2 and multiply this by 2. You will get minus 24 over 10. X has to be more than minus 2.4. Now this is your number line. Let's say 2.4 minus 2.4 is here. What are the values coming up? You will have minus 2, minus 1, 0, 1, 2. But you only want to find the negative integers, so after that you have this and this. So these two will be your answer for 14. Now for question number 15, we have what? The figure made of 5 identical triangles. All the triangles here are the same. So basically, all these angles here are also the same. So this whole thing will be 360 divided by 5 for the 5 triangles. That should be that will be 7, 1, 2. Okay, so the interior angle will be 7, 2. Okay, now first one is write down the order of rotational symmetry. Because we have 5 same triangles, it has to be order 5. Okay, now for part B, each marked angle is 110, so these angles here are 110. Now we have to find the angles of one of the triangles. So we have to find the angles of the triangle. So first step, we know this is 7, 2. So we know this is 7, 2 already, right? If this is 110, what is this one? This is a straight line. So this one will be 180 minus 110. That should be 70. Now if you know this is 70, you can find the other angle as well, because as you guys know, the sum of all the angles in the triangle come down to 180. So this one will be, so 180 minus 70, 110 minus 72 for this angle. That will be 0, 10, that will be 8, that will be 3, 38. So the angles in the triangle will be, first one is 7, 2, 70, and 38. That will be question number 15. Now let's move on to question number 16. Write down the number of this one in standard form. So let's write this down. 360 times million is 6 zeros. So we have to move 2 decimal places here. You have 3.6 times 10 power 8. And that is your answer for part 1. Now for part B, expressing each answer in standard form is this and this. So find P times Q. So P times Q is what? So we have 5 times 10 power 9 times Q will be 9 times 10 power minus 16. So first we can just multiply these two. Then we get 45 times 10 power 9 times 10 power 16. Now for indices, when you multiply the powers, you actually add them. That'll be 45 times 10 power 9 plus minus 16. That should be 45 times 10 power minus 7, which is 4.5 times 10 power minus 6. That is your answer for part 1. Now for part 2, find the square root of Q. So Q is 9 times 10 power minus 16. We have square root, which is power half. That will be 9 half times 10 minus 16 half. That will be 3 times 10 minus 8. And that will be your answer for question 16. Now 15, find 110% of this. So first, let's write this down. 110% is 110 over 100 times 70. 0, 0, 0, 0, that should be 7, 7. Now for part B, when new a car is worth this much, after 1 year it was worth this much, find the percentage reduction. So first we have to find the reduction, which is 3,000. Percentage will be reduction over the initial amount, which is 15,000 times 100 for the percentage. So this one goes away. That'll be 1, 5, and that will be 20. So the percentage will be 20% for the reduction. Now let's move on to question number 18. So an open, so it is open on top, has the side measurements of 11, 6, and 5. Part 1, calculate the total surface area of the 4 sides and the base of the tray. So let's first find one by one. So we have one side and two sides, so front and back are the same, so we do 2 times 11 times 5 plus these two sides, that will be 6, 2 times 6 times 5, and plus the base will be 11 times 6. So you will have 2 times 55 plus 2 times 30 and plus 66. Simplify, this is 110 plus 60 plus 66, so 170 plus 66. So 170 plus 66, that will be 6, that will be 3, that will be 2. 236. Okay, so that will be part A. Now part B, cubes are placed in the tray and the lid is placed on top. Okay. Now question is, find the maximum number of cubes that can be placed in the tray. So each cube has an edge of 2 centimeters. So cube, it looks something like this, where all the sides are the same, right? That will be 2, 2, and 2. Now you have to understand here, we have this shape here, and we're trying to put cubes of side 2 and 2, right? So as you can see, in this length, we can have 3 cubes, and the height we can have 1, 2. That's all we can have. And this length we can give you, we have 11, we can only have 5. 3, 4, 5 cubes. How would that make sense? Okay, so just to re-explain, by observation here, since our width is 6 and the length of one cube is 2, we can put 2, 2, and 2. So we can put 3 cubes on the length. And the height, we can put only 2 cubes because this is 2, so that will be 4. We have 1 remaining, which is not enough for a cube, so we can only put 2 on the height. Okay, and now for the length, we can only put 5 because we have 11 for the length. So what it means is, for one row, we can put 5 times 3 for the base row and times 2 because we can have 2 rows. So basically the base will be covered with 5 times 3, which is 15 times 2. That will be 30. So your answer will be 30 for the number of cubes that can be placed in that tray. Okay, so the reason why we don't use volume divided by volume is because it would not make sense, because let's say what happens is you will put one more cube on top, that will be 2, so your whole length will be 6, but the length here is 5, but you have to close the thing. If you want to close it, it cannot exceed that much, right? So you only can have 2 rows, right? You can have 2 rows. For the first row, look at the base and the width. The base is 11. We can only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 because that will be 10. And for the width, we can only have 3 because it is 6. So 10 times 3 will be the number we can have for the first row, and 2 because we have 2 rows, so 15 times 2 will be 30. That is your answer for part B. Now let's move on to question 19. Each time an archer fires 1 arrow, the chance that she hits the target is 0.7. So if she misses, it will be 0.3. Right. Now she fires 2 arrows, complete the tree diagram. So we have first and second. Hit, miss will be 0.3, 0.7, and 0.3. Now question, find the chance that she hits twice. That will be hit and hit. That will be 49, 0.49. Now just to explain, how do you multiply decimals? You first multiply 7 times 7, you get 49. And here we have 1 decimal place, here we have 1 decimal place. So in total we have 2 decimal places. So we count 1, 2. Okay. Now for part 2, he hits the target exactly once. So to hit exactly once, she can hit and miss, or she can miss and hit. So 0.7 times 0.3, or 0.3 times 0.7, which is basically 2 times the same thing. This is 0.21, that should be 0.42 as your answer. That will be question 19. Let's move on to question 20. The coordinates of P and M are given to you as follows. Now part 1, we have to find the gradient of the line PM. So to find the gradient, we have to use our formula, which is y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. That will be minus 6 over 3 minus 2, right? Now for part B, find the equation of the line. So we have the gradient. We have to choose one passing point, which is, let's choose 0, 4. That will be your x and y. So we take y minus this number over x minus 0 is equal to minus 2. Now we cross multiply. You will have y minus 4 is equal to minus 2x. So y will be minus 2x plus 4. Now for part C, M is a midpoint of PQ. Find the coordinates of Q. So M, basically we have a line like this. We have P here, and we have Q here. We know P is minus 3, 10. M is a midpoint, is given by 0, 4, so we have to find Q that we don't know. So how do you find midpoint to begin with? You know that midpoint M, which is this, is equal to x1, which is plus x2, divided by 2, and y1 plus y2 divided by 2. So we just have to equate this with this, and this equate with this. So x minus 3 divided by 2 will be 0. So x will be 3. Now y plus 10 over 2 is 4. So y plus 10 is equal to 8. So y will be minus 2. That will be your point Q. And that is your question 20. Let's move on to question 21. Express these two as a single matrix. So first, let's simplify them. Let's bring the constant, the multiplier inside. You'll have 9 minus 15, 3 minus 12. Minus 2, 0 minus 6, 4. So 1 by 1, 9 minus 2 is 7. 3 minus 6 will be 9. Minus 15 minus 0 is minus 15. That will be minus 16. That will be your answer for part 1. Now for part B, find the inverse of this matrix. To find inverse, we first must find the determinant. That will be cross multiply, which is minus 4 times 3, minus 1 times minus 5. That will be minus 12 plus 5, and that should give you minus 7. And we have to find the adjoint matrix. That will be, change the position of those two, minus 3, so minus 4, and 3 goes down. Change the sign of those two, that become 5 and minus 1. From this, inverse is equal to 1 over determinant times the adjoint matrix. And that is your answer for question 21. Let's move on to question number 22. So factorize this one. As you can see, we have 3 and a is common. You will have 3a minus 2. Now for this one, as you can see, we can write this down as 2 square minus 5t square. That will be 2 minus 5t and 2 plus 5t. Now for this one, part C, we have, let's see what can we do here. So here we have c and c. So let's put it together. You have 6cd plus 2cx. Then we have minus xy minus 3 dy. So we're just testing. We don't know what the answer is right now. We're just trying things out. Okay, so here we have common. We have 2 and c are common. So I will have 3d plus x. And here I have common is y is common and minus is common. That will be 3d plus x. So this is the same, so you take it out, you will have this, factorize that, 2c minus y. And that will be your answer for factorization. Now let's move on to question number 23. That will be a locus question. So we have triangle ABC. The diagram shows the triangle ABC. Measure your angle ABC. So measure this angle. So you have to use a compass for that. So go to your point B. You can measure, go like this. Okay, let's see what happens. So you can do like that, or you can measure like this if you want to. It's the same steps. You just have to find the one that you prefer. Okay, so that will be go to your center B and then measure this. So that will be about this line, which is about, this is 95, 96, 97. So for me it shows to be about 97. So my angle here is 97. So you may have 98, 99, that should be okay as well. Now for part B, on the diagram, construct the perpendicular bisector of AB. So here we have AB, so let's find the perpendicular bisector. So you have to use a compass for that. Go to your point B, measure a distance which is more than halfway of AB, then arc here, arc here. Then same thing, go to your point A with the same distance, intersect those two, and then join those two to form your perpendicular bisector of AB. That is part 1. Now part C, on the diagram construct the locus of points that are 5 centimeters from C. So basically we first have to measure 5 centimeters on your ruler. That will be about, yeah, almost, yep, exactly the same. Now it needs to go from your point C. So go to your point C and draw a circle of radius 5 centimeters, center C. Okay, that's it. Now next one is the points P and Q lie on the perpendicular bisector of AB and are 5 centimeters from C. Mark and label the points PQ on the diagram and measure PQ. So we have to extend this line. So because this is supposed to intersect with this line at 2 points, as you can see, we have 1 point here and we have 1 point here. This is your P and this is your Q. So we have to measure that. So according to my drawing, it shows to be about 4 point. I will take 4.7, why not? So for me it shows to be 4.7 for my length. Now let's move on to question number 24. So the diagram is a speed time graph of a train's journey. Okay, so part 1, calculate the speed when time equal to 5. So this question, there's many ways of doing that, but we can use similarity to do this question. This is 5, right? And we have to find the corresponding value of the speed, which is this one. Okay, so if you observe here, we have 2 triangles. So this is how I like to do it. I like to first take out the value here. I like to look at this triangle and this triangle. So basically, let me draw this here. So just to advise, you have many ways of doing this question, but I just like to use similarity for some reason. Okay, so if you observe, you have 2 triangles, this big one and this is small one. So the height of the big one is 30 minus 12, that is 8, and the base is 10. And for the small one, this one we don't know, and this one we know it is 5. So let's find the height. We have to use similarity to find the height. So the ratio is 5 over 10 is equal to x over 8. So simplify, x is equal to 5 times 8 divided by 10, which is 4. So the height is 4. This is 4. So V will be 4 plus 12, right? That will be 16. That is one way of doing this question. Okay, now part B, calculate the acceleration. So this is the acceleration. So to find the acceleration, I like to always connect this point to this point to form a right angle triangle. So once I have that, I can find the length, sorry, the height. So 12 to 8, that is 8, and the base here is 20. So for me, the acceleration is, whenever you have a speed time graph, the acceleration will be equal to your gradient of your right angle triangle. So gradient is equal to height divided by base. That will be 4 over 10, which is 0.4 meters per second square. Now for part C, calculate the distance traveled from this time to this time. So whenever you have a speed time graph, distance traveled is equal to area under graph. Okay, so if you observe from this to this, the area is you can say it's a triangle plus a rectangle, or you can find an area of trapezium, up to you. So we can do the easiest way. This is triangle, half times base times height, plus rectangle, which is 20 times 12. That will be 10. That will be 80 plus 240. That will be 320. That will be distance traveled between those two times. Now let's move on to question number 25. So here we have a shape of A, B, and C as a triangle. In the diagram, the equation of the line AC has been given to you by this. So let's extend the line and label this on the graph. This is this one. Okay. So write down the three inequalities that define the region inside. So when you see inside, we have to use this, but not equal. Okay. Now ABC is this one. So if you extend those lines, you can find the equations, right? This is a horizontal line. It will be y equal to 5. This is a vertical line. That will be x equal to 4. So first thing is, as you can see, it has to be above this line. So first thing, let's make y become your subject of formula. So we have 7x plus 5y equal to 35. So 5y will be 35 minus 7x. Needs to be above, that will be 5y is more than 35 minus 7x. Now for this one, it has to be less on the left hand side. So that will be x will be less than 4. And finally, has to be less than this one. Y will be less than 5. Now for part B, the line y equal to kx, where k is an integer, passes through the triangle ABC. Find the greatest possible value of k. So if you observe the equation, kx, it looks a lot like y equal to mx plus c. This is plus 0. So basically, we have to find the maximum gradient of the line. So if you observe, let's say you have a line that goes through 0, 0, because if you observe, if you put x 0, y will be 0, so your intercept is 0, 0. So where's the maximum gradient? So your line can be here, it can be here, here, here. The max gradient will be at the point A. So let's find that value. But it's an integer, so let's find the maximum first, and then we can round it up to the integer. So let's find the gradient of the line OA. So what is your point A? A is intersection between this line and this line. So A, y equal to 5 and y equal to, so we have 5 y equal to 35 minus 7x. That will be 25 equal to 35 minus 7x. So 7x is equal to 10. x will be equal to 10 over 7. 7, right? Then that should be 3 over 7. So your point A will be 3 over 7, and then that will be 5. That is your point A. Now to find the gradient of a point, we can just take the height divided by base of this line. So the gradient is the height, which is 5, divided by 10 over 7. Now we can simplify. That will become 5 multiplied by 7 divided by 10. That will be 1, 2, and that will be 3.5. So the gradient of the line OA is 3.5. That is the maximum gradient. But we are trying to find k as an integer. So what is the number just before 3.5? It will be 3. So the maximum integer before that is 3. That is the maximum value of k you can take for that question. Now question number 26. The sequence of the diagrams show the patterns made from some black beads and some white beads. Each diagram has 2 more rows than the previous ones. Okay, that's something good to know. And let's see what is the question. So here we have to complete the table for diagram 5. Okay, so by observation, it is 9, 16, 25, 36. It is square numbers, so the next one will be 49. Okay. Now this one is increasing by 3. 3, 3, that should be 19. And the last one is just this minus this. That will be 30. Right. Now part B, write down the expression of n in terms of n for first one for the white beads. So it's pretty easy. As you can see, the difference here is 3, 3, and 3. So we write down 3n to begin with. Now, we know that the first term is given to you by 7. But if you were to replace 3, first term, it gives you 3. 3 and 7 are not the same, but how can you make 3 become 7? You have to add 4. So we add 4 here as well. You will have 3n plus 4. Now you can test. That's the second term. So t of second term, so we say 3 times 2 plus 4. That should give you 6 plus 4, that is 10. 10 matches, so it is a good formula. Now for part 2, for the total number of beads in diagram n. So pretty easy. If you observe, it is square numbers. This is 3 square, this is 4 square, 5, 6 square, 7 square. So we did 1 plus 2 square, then we did 2 plus 2 squared, 3 plus 2 squared, 4 plus 2 squared, 5 plus 2 squared. So the 2 here is the same, but this 1 here is increasing with the terms. So basically if it was n, that will be n plus 2 squared. So that will be your answer for this one. So squared. Now part C, give an explanation in terms of n for the number of black beads in diagram n. So as you can see, black beads is found by taking this one minus this one minus this one. So here we have n plus 2 n square. Here we have 3n plus 4. So we just have to minus to find this one. Square minus 3n plus 4. That is n square plus 4n plus 4 minus 3n plus 4. That will be n square plus 4n minus 3n plus 4 minus 4. That is n square minus n. Okay, that will be your answer for this one. That is question number 26. Now let's move on to your last question, question number 27. So in the diagram we have OP given to you by minus 3, 4. So basically what does it mean? It means that this distance here is minus 3, and this height is 4. 4 and minus 3, right? 3. Now PQ is given to you by 0, 2. So PQ, this is 2, this distance. Now let's do part 1. Find the magnitude of OP plus PQ. We can use formulas for that. OP is simply given to you by the square root of 9 plus 16 plus of OP, that will be 4. That will be 25, that will be 5 plus 2. That will be 7. Okay, let's see what's next. What do we have else? So here we have to find the T is a point where PT is equal to KPQ. Okay, so let's join these two. So PT is equal to KPQ. Because they lie on the same line, we can form this equation. Okay, now part 1, express OT as a column vector in terms of K. So PT is equal to OT minus OP is equal to K times PQ. PQ is given to you by 2, 0. So OT is 2K over 0 plus OP. OP is minus 3, 4. That will be 2K minus 3 over 4. That is OT. Now part 2, we have M is a point such that OTM lie on the straight line. So OTM lie on the straight line. So we have the line here, but we don't know where's the point M, right? But we know that OM, okay, given to you by this thing. We have to find the value of K. So we have to form an equation for that as well. Since, let's say M is here, for example, since they lie on the same line, we can form the same kind of equation that we have here. So basically we can write down OT is a multiple. Let's take any constant. Let's say we take constant S of OM. Yeah, and that will be a valid equation that we can form. So OT is given to you by this, which is 2K minus 3 over 4 is equal to S times OM, which is 24, 16. Now we can expand to form the equations. You will have 2K minus 3 is equal to 24S. That is the first equation. And we have 4 equal to 16S. From this, S is equal to 1 over 4. Replace, you will have 2K minus 3 is equal to 24 divided by 1 over 4. That is 6. So 2K is equal to 9. K will be 4.5. That is the value of K for that question. Okay, so that was the last question of this paper, question number 27. So I hope that was more clear and more well explained than the previous papers that I did for this one. And as always, thank you for watching. I will see you soon. And good luck for tomorrow.